How's everyone doing? Welcome. Up, give me a second. Let me bring the volume down. Let me make sure the mic is working. Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, mic check. Alright, I think the mic is working. How's everyone doing? Welcome, beautiful people. Welcome to the final episode of this week. Market. Woo, baby. How do we say it? Straight to the downside. Now, 3 straight down days in the market today, right? 3 red days in a row. Does that mean it's a recipe for a free fall Friday tomorrow? That's the question we're here to answer. I'm your boy TraderPrad. I'm the man who coined the word free fall Friday and the man who predicts future free fall Fridays. And tomorrow, sadly, I don't think it's gonna be a free fall Friday. We might actually see some sort of a capitulation Friday tomorrow. First, starting off with the I don't like predicting the markets. You guys know me. But we're going to throw a wild prediction out there. Tomorrow, markets are going to open straight into a plummet. And then they're going to capitulate and then bounce for a beautiful long for the rest of the day. Reclaim multiple levels. And you're going to be wondering like, oh my god, where is this buying coming from? And then everyone who missed out on a little bit of the bull rally, they get to join the bull rally from the 9-day moving average, from the 21-day moving average. And I'm expecting some buys over the weekend. I mean, Fed, I can't remember what the Fed name is, but one of the Fed members is supposed to be talking right now, and I think about 9-10 minutes ago, they said that they are expecting more rate cuts in the near future to balance things out. More cuts is the key terminology over there. So I think bullish market still. If from what we've seen last night on stream, the probability that the next FOMC, which is October 29th or I think 12th or 29th, something like that, in October, the next Fed rate decision is expected to be a rate cut too. So the market, for the most part, I'm not expecting a big correction, big pullback. Maybe a 3, 4, 5% pullback, which we're already kind of heading into the 9-day moving average for the QQQ. But I think it's time for some bouncy Fridays, some buying Fridays if we can partake it. So let's go look at the market. Let's go see what stocks there are available for us to look for the long side. At the same time, you guys know me, I love shorting names. So we're also going to talk about a bunch of stocks to keep an eye out for the short side. Some names that we've already talked about yesterday and basically going all the time, like in last week, this week, going into today. We've been talking about some of these names. That's your quantum names. That's your nuclear energy names, all of which went parabolic recently. All of them pulling back today. Not all of them, but some of them pulling back today and gave you a good short setup over there. And even the cryptocurrency sector, crypto pulling back, Bitcoin pulling back. Not looking good if you're a Bitcoin holder, especially if you're a MicroStrategy lover. Sadly, I hate to say I told you so, but MicroStrategy not doing good things under the 200-day moving average, and it is now crumbling. So lots to talk about today. Let's go ahead and push the button to take us to the full screen. While we're going to the full screen, let's take a look at people in the chat. We got TH, we got Josh, Barky in the house, and Damien. Ooh, a couple other people than more than usual. We love seeing that. Barky, I guess it's your day off today. Good to see you in the house. Damien's in the house too. What's going on, Prad? How we looking today? I mean, I hope I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. We're trading good. Money was made today. What did I trade today? I actually traded IonQ, a stock. Oh, look at Costco. It pulled back in the after hours over there. I actually traded IonQ, a name that we were preparing for yesterday on stream. One of my high top priority names. Was looking for the stock to not show me buying above 71. And if you look at the chart right here, all you have to do is simply draw a line. Actually, I'll go to a even simpler chart, which is much easier to see. All you have to do is draw a line from yesterday's low. Yesterday's low was pretty much Tuesday's low. So draw a line across those 2 days lows. Happens to be around $71. And now I'm just analyzing the action. I'm just simply waiting for the stock to show me weakness around $71. or show me strength above $71. So as it's pulling back into 71, clearly there's buyers in this area. They're still wanting to buy up the name, push it back to 71. But when we do go to 71, when we do go to 72, it's just lack of buying. No one wants to buy the name up and the volume's dying down. So that gave me an opportunity to look for a short right as that trend line breaks. I'll be honest, I was actually short a little bit earlier because I thought, you know, I was getting the best price I could have, but I guess I could have gotten the same price much later. So I got short somewhere in this area a little bit earlier, took the break of the trend line basically, and didn't have to look back on this name until much later on in the day. If you were to draw a trend line somewhere like this, that would have protected you from the pullback on this name over here. But if you're looking to swing this name, if you're got the balls to swing this name, then you know, you don't really care about that pop. But what we're seeing in the same sector on other names, for example, RGTI still up 1.5%. IonQ, the ringleader, however, obviously on its second red day over here, and just drawing simple things as trend lines and keeping your trade setup as simple as it can be. You don't need to overcomplicate it. We analyzed the chart for you yesterday. We planned out the setup. Look for a short around 71. It gave you a short around 71 with the stop at 72.50, let's say. You're risking about $1.50 and you get way more than $1.50, almost $4 over here, $3 per share for that trade to the downside. And we'll see if the swing momentum actually gives me what I'm looking for on IonQ. So monster trade for myself over here. The next trade that I actually had on the day was MSTR. MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy was actually pointed out by Yanni Trades, Discord server that I sit in when I'm trading. He pointed out that he was short MicroStrategy. So I was like, okay, looks like a pretty good chart to me for the short side. Let's keep looking for other reasons as to why I don't want to be in the trade. And honestly, I couldn't find a reason to not be involved in the trade. If you look at it on the daily chart, that's the daily chart, clearly breaking down below recent support. If you go look at Bitcoin is selling off. Bitcoin is down quite a bit on the day. Another reason to look for the short on one of the most loved Bitcoin stock out there. When Bitcoin's going down, one of the most loved Bitcoin stock out there is obviously going to take a little bit more to the downside. So here goes this name on its mission to $300, and I'm actually swinging this short too. I'm not too worried about this short. I'm looking for more downside coming into this name in the near future. But the way I'm swinging it is actually going long SMST. And if you look at SMST over here, if you ignore the fact that this is a leverage ETF of MSTR inverse, if you ignore that and just look at the fact that a lump in my throat. If you ignore that and just look at the fact that the stock, just look at the chart, right? Look at the chart and you know, recent split, usually inverse ETF split, recent split, and then resistance, breakout. Same thing as MSTR, but the opposite. No split, but support, breakdown. So exact same thing, but in the opposite side. So using this as a reason to get short MSTR on SMST, and basically looking for that extension. And this is a 2 times leverage ETF. So anytime MSTR goes down, this should go even more to the upside, and I should really start printing on this name. So looking forward to seeing how much profits we get to capitalize on this bear market. I shouldn't say bear market. Bear markets are still far way out, but at least for MicroStrategy, which is, I want to say, a little bit of distance below its 200-day moving average now. So 200-day moving average is at 352. We are exactly, let's just say 350. We're exactly $50 away from its 200-day moving average. The 200-day moving average is in fact curling to the downside. That is never something that you want to see. It never had a period where it was flattening out. In fact, it's just going from a straight upwards curve to a downwards curve, and you're seeing the same thing happen with the 50-day moving average too. So not the best thing over here. Eventually, you're gonna get the death cross. The golden cross is when the 50-day crosses the 200. Eventually, you're gonna get the death cross, which just means that the stock is going to trade sideways or go lower. The quicker it goes, the lower it goes, the faster the death cross is going to happen. The more sideways it trades, the slower the death cross is going to happen. But then the death cross is just going to be even more volatile, because that means you're going to have some buyers in this area. Those buyers are potentially going to have a stop right at the low, and when those lows get burst open, the stock is going to make an even more accelerated move to the downside, eventually giving you that death cross. So that is almost imminent at this point. Is that the right way to say the word? Anyways, I think that is almost guaranteed at this point. But the question is, how slow or how volatile or how quick does it happen? How in tandem does it happen with Bitcoin? Does Bitcoin start really crumbling along with the rest of the sector? I think Ethereum is taking a beating at the moment too. So just to keep an eye for the strategy. It's not even micro strategy anymore. It's a strategy. Just to keep an eye out for the strategy trades. Even Coinbase making a little bit of a move down today, and potentially giving you that breakdown if Bitcoin really starts pushing lower and lower. Coinbase recently got above its earnings VWAP, but you can see how now we're right back below its earnings VWAP, and some struggle room in this area, and Bitcoin looking weak will potentially take this back lower. At the moment, Coinbase might try to find a base and pull the 200-day moving average higher. I think that's something that you will see. What is another thing I can see happening on Coinbase? That it coils a little bit longer sideways, has a failed breakdown to the south side, and it does the undercut and then rally of the 200-day moving average. So you're gonna get an undercut below the 200-day, and then shake out of a lot of buyers, and then a rally back above the 200-day when Bitcoin is looking good again. So that's something that I've seen many times. Actually, some stocks, to give you as an example for an undercut and rally, here's Open Door. Open Door giving you that undercut below the 9, below the 21, and then holding back above the 21 when it reclaims this day's high, basically at $8. You can try to look for a long in this area, undercut, and then rally back through the moving averages. And knowing Eric Jackson, I mean, this stock, if it gets back to 11, we're potentially going to see another big squeeze through. I'm currently just going to wait patiently to see what happens on Open Door. I did have a very small position, and I took that for a loss. I'm not crying about it. If I see that there's an opportunity here, I might look to get back into Open Door just to have some skin in the game. But this is not the name that we are here to talk about for tomorrow. Let's start with the top of the watch list. I completely got sidetracked. I don't know why I started talking about the market right away, but let's start talking about let's start with our usual schedule, which is going with the earnings board. Earnings board today, Costco, that's really the only name I care about. Friday, no names really report earnings, at least not in the after hours, and the ones that pre-market are non-existent in my radar. So I don't really care about what happens over here with this one. CarMax today apparently sold off pretty drastically, KMX. So let's go take a look at CarMax. So yeah, look at that big drop on KMX. Look at the 1 week chart, and then that might give you a little bit of a clue as to why the stock bounced where it did. So let me just go draw some lines, and then you can have some sort of a clue over there as to why the stock bounced where it did. Sometimes it's just when in doubt, zoom out, ladies and gentlemen, and there you go, boom. What an easy long that would have been. Why was I not watching KMX? Why was I not watching KMX? What a monster long. Basically, I don't want to say capitulation, but that's basically a form of it. You're getting a form of mean reversion. This is a form of, I mean, what is the ATR of the stock? The stock's ATR is $1, and today it's down $11 from basically yesterday's close. But from the open, you're down more than $1, right? Yeah, or the ATR is $2. This is not really capitulation, but it's basically like a backside scalp. It's a failed break of a previous low. There's some scalp entry opportunities in this area that you could have got yourself into to squeeze out a very good long over here. And I'm kind of upset for myself to not keep an eye on this name at all. A lot of my group members actually called out this name today, and I just ignored them. I just said, nah, I'm gonna keep watching the names that I'm interested in, and I'm not really gonna care about KMX. Who cares about KMX? And yeah, bad mistake from me over there. Looks like it bounced right around the 2020 area, so pretty historic levels. We dropped right into COVID levels over here. 2020 March area, so COVID levels coming into play. Currently bouncing off one of the first support zones of COVID levels. If we do get below this, the next one will be a even harder test. Looks like, you know, there was very less liquidity over there. You can see the tail of that candle. We just bounced off of this area, and in the next few days there was a little bit of a battle, but we never really tested this low, and then the stock just made an insane rally since then. So bouncing off what seems to be $40 area is should be the final frontier. You don't really want to see the stock much below that, but if the earnings report is really that weak, then I guess, you know, eventually you're gonna see the stock breaking below 40. As for a day trade, I think there's still going to be some opportunities that are available. It just depends on how the stock trades tomorrow. If we're going to get a move back down to $42, I don't think we will, but if we do get a move back down to $42, I think there'll be a very easy long opportunity over there as long as buyers are there. You want to make sure buyers are there first. But if the stock gives you a different setup, which is what I'm imagining at the moment, I'm visualizing a completely different setup, which is it pulls back or it just finds support right around today's VWAP slash earnings VWAP, at which point you just keep looking to get long around VWAP, which is around $45. Yeah, today's VWAP is $45. So you get long around 45. And any weakness around 45. If the stock is spending more than 15 minutes under 45, that's your trigger to just walk away from that trade, because you might be able to get a long back at 43. You might be even able to get a long down at $40, right? So just be a little careful what happens here. If 45 is giving you clear support, buyers are showing up around 45 or above 45, I think there's going to be a little long opportunity back into today's high at the very least, and then maybe a little bit of a move above today's high. We'll see if that is possible on KMX. Volume though after earnings report usually dies down drastically on this name, but with a big move like that and a very big spike in relative volume, you see average 30-day volume is 4 million shares. Today's volume is 30 million shares, so big spike in volume. I think based off of that, you might see some good volume tomorrow too, possibly 10 million or around 10 million. In which case you should be able to have good liquidity on this name to trade around. So keep an eye out for some opportunities, ideally near 45. I'm going to put 45 in my inflection notes. KMX, inflection 45, yesterday, EWAP. 45. Resistance should technically be today's high, which is 46.66. I love seeing numbers like that, 666. And then support, I'm gonna give it a whole zone from 42 to 43, even though that's technically like, you know, one full ATR. Stock's ATR is $2. Or what was it, $1.80? No, it's yeah, $2.50. Let's say $3. I'm basically giving one full ATR for that even dollar level to come into play. You might not even have to give it all the way up to 40 if I'm being honest. It's just because I like trading around even dollars. So you might even just say 42 to 40. Because if you're finding selling below 42 tomorrow, there is a very good chance the stock goes to 40 and then below 40, which I don't think happens, but it's a good chance that it does that if it's trading below 42. The KMX, for some easy scalp opportunities as a day trade, for sure worthy to keep an eye on. I'll put that on the watch list. The next stock after that, JBL. Did you do anything interesting? I didn't look at you either. Looks like JBL actually took a nosedive. Somebody knew something over here, took a nosedive to the south side off of its earnings report. They actually grew, or they beat the EPS and report. Not that they grow or not. I don't know if they grew or not. We got to read the report for that. But I guess no trade over here. Not worth to put JBL on the watch list for tomorrow. And that just leaves us with Costco for the stocks that reported earnings tonight or tomorrow. Costco obviously reporting earnings, and looks like it's pushing now back to the downside. Initially was going higher after reporting a beat in EPS and a beat on revenue, but is it an actual beat? Let's go check out using our good friends over at Benzinga. Before we go to Benzinga, actually, let me show you guys Polymarket. So Polymarket was big time favoring no for the beat on EPS for Costco. And what was the expectation? Where's the rules over here? Let's go read the rules real quick. The rules were expectation number was 5.82, and if you look at what the report is for Costco, they actually reported, what is it, 5.87. So wouldn't you say that, hey, they beat? So why is that this market is resolving to a no, and why did everyone bet to no? Shouldn't yes start making a ton of money? So here's where Polymarket actually scammed you if you didn't do the research yourself. They are only going to give you the yes if the report for non-GAAP is 5.82 or higher, which is a metric that Costco never actually reports apparently. So if you didn't know that, if you didn't go through Costco's filings, SEC reports, and see that they never report this non-GAAP number, and Polymarket is looking for that number, then it makes sense that slamming on no would have been the best thing. You can see how a lot of people were originally betting yes, and then all of a sudden yesterday at 2 o'clock a lot of money came in on the no side, just changing the order books and just snagging up every single buy order there was most likely. And you can see how there's almost no buy orders right now at all. I want to see actually who snagged up the holders. Who is this? So Quantity. Well, okay, you're currently in the loss of 200,000 sadly, but I'm sure you're gonna make that all back with this awesome trade. How do we see what their price is? Can we check that? That's their average price? Is that how it works? Looks like they haven't made a lot of bets before, but they made this one bet. Oh, they have made a lot of bets before. Okay, never mind. Well, obviously they've made a lot of bets before. They're down $200,000. I don't know. I still don't understand some of this Polymarket stuff. I gotta figure it out. And actually, Polymarket had a episode on South Park yesterday, which was hilarious. But look at this, man. Just a little loophole. If you did your research, if you found out that they never actually report non-GAAP, you would have been able to make a good ton of money off of earnings reports outside of the stock market. Just the opportunities out there are immense right now for predictions, for markets, for making money, ladies and gentlemen. Coming back to, however, Costco and the earnings report are our go-to market, which is a stonk market. Let's read the earnings report real quick. Since we already read that 5.87 beat 5.80, what is the revenue? 86 billion versus 86.12 billion. So it didn't beat revenue over there. Wait, what? I guess they beat very slightly. Net sales for the fourth quarter up 8% year over year. Total comparable sales were up 5.7% on a year over year basis. What's going on with my and my, what do you call this, drawstring just came out of my shorts. Now my shorts are going to be really loose all day. I gotta I'll fix them up later on. Okay, net sales up 8% year over year. Total comparable stores, that's up 5.7%, not bad. Basic breakdown: US up 5%, Canada up 6%, other international up 8.6. Member fees came in at 1.72, up from 1.51. Memberships fee was it raised by $5? You bastards. Representing the company first membership hike. Okay, Costco operates 914 warehouses, including 629 in the US of A. Company ended in the quarter approximately $14.16 billion in cash. Do I see any guidance? I don't see any guidance at the moment. Stocks, however, going down at the time of the report. I mean, growth across the board. I don't see guidance in this report. Let's see if we can see anywhere else. Membership fees up year over year. We read that already. What does this one say? Continue to read the report here real quick. This is a 13.98% of EPS from same period last year. And this is an 8% increase on revenue from same period last year. We read that also. And sadly, I don't see anything about their guidance at the moment for Costco. And when is their conference call? We'll also, oops, sorry, didn't mean to change cameras. I want to see when is their conference call. For that, we're going to have to quickly go to Benzinga. And looks like the event starts in 2 minutes. That's basically 5 p.m. So Costco's conference call starts in 2-3 minutes. That potentially shakes up the stock a little bit more and gives us maybe even a live trading opportunity. If you look at the day trade opportunity tomorrow that Costco could set up, it's actually a pretty good one. So here's Costco. I think, again, I'll go to the simpler chart that doesn't have too many indicators. Guys, if you look at Costco here at $933, and then right below 933 at 925. If we do get below 933, I think 925 is very, very much possible. But then if we get below 925, that's where real fun starts to happen. The stock seems to clearly find some buying above 933 at the moment. You can see how in the after hours, it's actually bouncing just shy of above 933. Looks like 933.88 was the low in the after hours over here. And then once the conference call kicks in, either we reclaim 940 or we actually start pushing to the downside into 925. So that's going to be an interesting trading opportunity. Keep in mind though, guys, this is Costco. Very low liquidity. Volume is already on the low side for a $1,000 name as it is. It's going to be spready. So make sure that you are, applying proper risk management if you are trading it. And I don't know if any Costco leverage ETFs. So if there are any Costco leverage ETFs, please do let me know. In fact, you know what? I'll not be lazy. And we'll ask Perplexity to do the homework for us, which is basically being lazy. Costco leverage, there is one. COTG, do you have volume on that one? For real? COTG doesn't have any volume on this. Lame. Looks like a recent one also. Okay. Probably because people got sick and tired of Costco not having any goddamn news ever coming out about a split. So, someone finally dropped a leverage ETF. I mean, Pony AI has a leverage ETF. Like, come on, what are we talking about? Pony AI? Why does Pony AI need a leverage ETF? But I guess, whatever. Costco finally has one over here. COTG is the ticker for that, launched in September 2025. Charges 0.75%. There are other ones, COSY on the TSX for the Canadian people. I just got a notification. Looks like it is about Lyft, how I have 20 free rides. Thank you. Trump approves the TikTok deal. Okay, possibly something to keep an eye on. Oracle real quick about the TikTok deal. Hey, look at that. TikTok deal news actually pushing Oracle through the north side a little bit and saving it from the impending doom. They don't want to see Oracle below the 290, especially after making that 8% earnings bump. They every time Oracle goes down, you see some news catalyst come out. The first time it was like, what is it, OpenAI, blah, 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 blah. Then the Nvidia, blah, 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 blah.
Then the TikTok blah 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 blah. Now you have the TikTok actually passed through Trump blah 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 blah. So it's like, come on, man. We clearly see what's happening. You guys are planning these news cycles to stop the stock from crumbling over here. But I'm telling you, very soon, once we start holding below 290, 288, 290, this is going all the way for a gap close. Maybe not all the way, but it's gonna give you an opportunity over here. So watch out for Oracle. There is a bullshit saying in the market. It's called gaps always get filled in the market eventually. I don't believe in it, but it's always fun to see it actually play out when it plays out. So if it actually plays out that way, if Oracle doesn't want to bounce from one of the moving averages, I think some of the moving averages should be somewhere here or should be catching up to this area. Eventually Oracle should bounce from those moving averages, but if it doesn't, then I think the gap close is more realistic. At the moment, it's a dream, it's a meme, it's not realistic, but something to laugh about, especially after an 8% run up on this name. What a move. Okay, so Oracle seems to be moving in the after hours over here on the Trump news. Maybe we should put that on the watch list over here. Costco, real quickly throw this one in here. It's 933 and 925. Is that the right numbers? Am I forgetting these numbers over here? Nope, 933 and 925 are the numbers, and looks like nothing is no reaction right now from the conference call. We'll come back, we'll keep circling back to it, and if I do forget, remind me to circle back to Costco every now and then to see if the stock is moving based off of the earnings report. What was the other ticker? COTG is that I want to remember also. Okay. Oracle 290 to 290 288, was it 288.50 if I remember correctly. Watching to see if that area will continue to play as a support for this name. If Oracle's above 290 tomorrow and it's just continuously finding support above 290, that's a fairly easy long scalp. You might even get a quick $2, $3 off of that scalp without having to do a lot. You know, if you get long closer to 290, you might get a decent long off of that, based off of the TikTok news right now. So worth watching, but I don't think it's actually a purple right just yet. If it is below 290 and then testing 288 and looking weak below 288, then the stock really goes purple for the short side. I would love to see that one coming into play. Okay, let's quickly look at for some stocks through the YouTube chat, because I have a horrible habit of sticking to my own watch list and then going to the YouTube chat. We want to get better at this. I've been talking to myself in the mirror about this, and the only way we can do it is being honest about it and actually putting in the work to be better. So the YouTube chat today wants us to take a look at some stocks. Barket's here. Barket says he wants to see SLV, UPST. So let's start with SLV. That's basically the silver ETF. SLV, along with gold, has been making a beautiful run up recently. Gold is what, at all-time highs? GLD, all-time highs at the moment. Look at that weekly chart. I mean, what a nice breakout on the weekly chart. What more can you ask for, right? Just straight every single week up, 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 and up. And in 1 week on gold, you are up, what, 7%? Awesome. If you have been holding gold bullions or gold bars in your safe somewhere, or even in your house like your Pablo Escobar for some reason, you're loving this run up. Or if you own gold shares, you're loving this run up too. SLV is basically doing the same thing. Look at the weekly chart on SLV. Nice little breakout, and then a consolidation, and then another breakout, and then now it's basically going a little parabolic, going a little ballistic along with gold. Potentially these commodities will hit a brick wall at one point. Maybe not, because the scarcity, they're expected to not be able to mine more and more. But didn't they find a bigger mine recently in like Australia or somewhere? Anyways, I don't trade commodities, especially gold, silver. I don't go out there and look at the inventory counts and all those news catalysts for mining and so on. So I'm not too familiar with the actual fundamental side of this market. But when it comes to just looking at the pure chart, trading the technicals, I mean, this is a clean, beautiful breakout going parabolic. Realistically, you wouldn't trade these markets like what is it, like OpenAI, right? You wouldn't look for like a first red day setup, a second red day setup, and so on. If it goes really parabolic, then at the end of the day, it should participate the same way like all other markets should. But I don't think that's the best. I just looking at the daily chart actually for gold, if it gets below 340, 180, 342, I think that could open up some downside. But then you also have some buying area right here where it found a lot of buyers from. So I'm not really sure how I've never traded gold, to be fair with you. So I can't tell you exactly what to expect from a chart like this. Beautiful long though. I wish I participated in the long. That's all I can say. I wish I participated in the long. There's a lot of other stocks that are potentially worth keeping an eye on. Barrick Gold is one of them. B is the ticker. This is more worth it for like a first red day setup, and especially when gold starts to pull back, this one would be an awesome stock to look for the short side. You can see how yesterday was a second red day. Today was a little bit of a relief rally, bouncing back to the north side as gold is rallying higher. But if this stock goes parabolic again, I think this one is at all-time highs now. Oh, not even close. But if this stock goes parabolic again, potentially worth for some sort of a short setup. To join the long, I think you might have missed the train already. Most of these stocks have basically made an insane run up, and I don't know how to basically join the party now unless they give you a pullback. Yeah, I don't know how to join the party. You gotta wait for a pullback. Something like a flag. If you get another flag, and then maybe you can join the party. But yeah, silver, insane. It's breaking out. Not it's breaking out. It's broken out. It's going nuts. Absolutely going nuts. On its way to all-time high. Peter Schiff loving it. Peter Schiff. UPST is what you said after SLV, I think. Yes, UPST price action analysis and support zones, please. UPST, I haven't looked at this name in a long time. Let's take a quick little look at it. I actually need some of my indicators to look at this. UPST, how are you doing? You're just now getting back below the 200-day moving average. That's not a good thing, especially after the most recent earnings report. Looks like, okay, the most recent earnings report, you actually dropped to the 200-day. You tried to bounce and hold around the 200-day the best you could, but eventually failing and then breaking back under the $61, the $60 area, and then pushing back to what was the previous breakout level. So potentially this breakout level doesn't matter, honestly. I think the stock will push right back to the south side. Previous resistances do usually turn into supports, but I think given the weakness that the stock has right now, maybe some downgrades. What actually is going on with this name? Extra weakness by any chance? Maybe insider selling. Looks like, yeah, 7 days ago CEO seems to have sold some shares. Upstart shares are trading lower. Shares fell based on short interest going up. Based on short interest going up, or short interest went up in general. Fed chairman components on asset prices. Oh, based on Powell's comments about market being overvalued, I guess. Anyways, a clear breakdown over here and below the 200-day. You never want to see a stock below 200-day. Not you know, good things never happen below the 200-day. What you could see is a reclaim of the 200-day. So this would be the undercut, and then if it starts reclaiming and then rallying back above the 200-day, that could be a good reason to get long, and then this would be your stop. But right now there is no long, And for the short, I think as long as the stock keeps failing on pops, you can continue to look short. So today's high is what, 60? If it fails and pops and fails at today's VWAP, if it pops and fails at today's VWAP, today's high, sorry, there could be some shorts there. I just don't think it's a high enough of a priority name for me to keep an eye on. Volume is okay. 10 million shares for a $60, $50 name is fine. Just no relevant news, no real catalyst behind it. You know, as a day trader, you really want fresh catalysts and fresh news. And sadly, I don't think this one has it. There's just better names right now to look out for the short. At least in my opinion, there's better names out there to look for the short at the moment, such as IonQ, RGTI, OKLO, and so on. Even though OKLO wasn't a good day trade of a short, it was a good short for the swing trade. IonQ was a good day trade of a short today. MSTR was a good day trade of a short. So in my opinion, there's better day trade shorts, especially when there's catalyst behind them, and UPST doesn't really qualify for that. But good stock selection still. I like the fact that you are looking at this name, because that breakdown does give you a good trade opportunity. Okay. What is next from Barkey? Barkey is saying APP is a beast. Any shortable levels? I mean, it's already kind of showing you a little bit of a backside here, is it not? Like, this is basically showing you that the last 3 previous days low is turning into a resistance, and potentially giving you an opportunity to short base that area. If you look at it today, it basically bounced from the 9-day moving average. This is what I'm expecting the overall market to do. In fact, that's exactly what the market tried to do. Oh, I thought it bounced from the, I guess yesterday it bounced from the 9-day, sorry. Today it got below the 9-day, but then basically pushed back into the 9-day, interestingly enough. APP though, yeah, look at how strong it is, bouncing off of the 9-day moving average, slowly stair-stepping to the north side. That, if that candle, volume candle, is real, that's basically capitulation. I mean, you should never see the stock back above that high again. I'm not sure that volume candle is real. Maybe someone can verify for me using a different charting platform, like a brokerage or something, because that looks fugazi to me. I don't think that's real. Anyways, this stock should basically not be able to trade above today's high, 645, 644, the last few days low, and then today's high is ideally the resistance pocket on this name. It should not be trading above it, and any resistance in that area should be able to give you some shorts back into the 9-day moving average, back to the downside. But just the fact that how it bounced today off the 9-day moving average, that short over here looks horrible. There is a very clean chance that the stock is just going to do this, or it's going to do something like this and not really trade like the way I want it to the south side. So I'm not sure if this is a high priority for the short. In fact, this is a high priority now to continue looking for it to trade sideways and then actually take the breakout to the upside, because if I remember correctly, APP has a pretty high short float. COTG, the Costco ETF, has low volume. Yes, it does. But if you want to trade $1,000 name without having to spend $1,000, I think COTG has okay volume. As long as you're you know, getting into the right areas, you should be able to trade that stock fairly well, especially given that tomorrow is earnings day, or tonight is earnings day on Costco. I think you might see some elevated volume on COTG tomorrow. Going down the chat over here, Prad, could you look at the QQ? Prad, could the QQQ fall to 551 level, since so many tech is the most overbought sector that I heard a lot saying? People, holy man. Okay, gotcha. I see what you're saying. Prad, I think the overall market is a problem, that more selling tomorrow and weak on tech. I'm not sure about that, man. I mean, yeah, like, obviously tech is overbought, right? Obviously tech is overbought, but at the same time, you know, a lot of these large cap names were not part of the rally. Like, Tesla was not part of the rally this whole time. Apple was not part of the rally this whole time. So like when Apple is basically flagging and getting ready for a breakout, how are you telling me that you know is this that we're done with the rally, right? Here's XLF just kind of hanging out near all-time high. Like here's SMH near all-time high. So like semiconductors are actually bouncing off the 9-day moving average. So these are your gauges to keep an eye out for as to what exactly is happening. And when the semiconductors, when the banking sectors, when the cybersecurity stocks, CrowdStrike for example, is basically trading near its all-time high, these are not when the markets are you know, should be coined with terminology as weak. These are still bull markets. At the same time, yeah, some of them are overbought, which is not wrong. You know, Nvidia, quite a bit of away from its 200-day moving average. You have stocks like RGTI going insane. Some of these stocks are in their euphoric state. If you were to look at the stage analysis of stocks, I think these stock markets kind of in the you know, euphoric, in the overbought state, and even the stupid stocks are going nuts. But in my opinion, that's more so because of the liquidity issues we're having right now. There's really no sellers and you know, a little bit more buyers in the market. And the sellers who are selling, they are actually selling at all-time highs, and they're kind of getting bent over. If you're still looking at the COT data is showing you that you're seeing the most sellers at all-time high at the moment. So you know, it's if they get squozen out, we are getting ready for another big move to the north side over here. So it's just like things can get crazier. Things can get crazier. So I'm not saying that this is the top. I'm not saying that you know, it can go lower. In my opinion, you know, the bubble, it's like a couple bad newses away from being popped, but we're still far from being popped. We're still far from being popped until I stop seeing stupid names like RGTI, Open Door, some of the most ridiculous names out there going up. Until I stop seeing that, I'm not gonna, you know, be bearish on the market at all. So I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna hold on to my positions. I'm gonna trail them to the moving averages. I'm gonna stick to the game plan. And if the market starts to hold below the 50-day moving average, then we can talk about, you know, some doomsday events possibly coming into play. We're still so far away from the doomsday. Okay, market needs to go drop what, another 3% to go test the 50-day moving average, and then you know, we can talk about some real doomsday. I don't think we're anywhere close to that. But the way the market's looking right now, we could actually reclaim the 9-day moving average tomorrow and get right back bucking to the north side, just straight trucking to the north side. Continuing down the watch list over here, what is this? That's the radio. Nice little graphic over there. Are we still streaming on Pump Fun? Guys, buy my Pump Fun coin. I'm joking. Actually, don't buy my Pump Fun coin because you might get sniped and someone might rug you. I might not. I will not rug you. I will for sure not rug you. Is there anyone in the chat here? You see, I actually bought some of my own coin over here because that's gonna allow me to actually stream on the coin. But if you are interested, buy the coin now, so when someone actually comes to pump the coin up for me, you can rug them and they can't rug you. Oh, genius. But just know, guys, Pump Fun, just like every other meme coin, there's always what is it? There's always garbage associated with it, to the point where I don't even want to be associated with it. But just because they have a streaming platform, I made a coin, and if you guys want to buy some Pump Fun coin for fun, go look up PumpPrad on the meme coins and you'll find it. PumpPrad. Hilarious. Okay, continuing down the watch list over here, let's go to the quantum names. Quantum names are pretty important still. Ion Q making a pretty good bounce back today into $70 area. In the after hours, still hanging out near the $70 area. As long as we don't reclaim 70, 71, 72, I'm fine with my shorts on this name. But if we do reclaim 71, 72, I might just say screw this name and walk away from the shorts, because I mean, look at the partners in crime, RGTI over here, which I'm still long. It does not want to go down just yet. QUBT, QBTS, you know, they all bounce pretty much off of its moving averages. So these stocks are not done just yet. This is not how they behave. When the ringleader, which is Ion Q, starts pushing lower, the other ones actually start crumbling much harder. But those are showing you some strength on the dips, like almost like people can't wait to buy up some shares. So you know, it's the most weird, awkward action that I'm seeing over here on quantum names. However, second red day today, nice little short for the intraday setup for those who participated in it. Today's VWAP, today's high, the last few days low, basically $70 to $72 area, will all be still very much in question on pops. If there is still selling around that area tomorrow, we could potentially look for a short, but the setup is very, very ugly at the moment. Ideally, the stock actually pushes back under today's VWAP or holds around today's VWAP and then continues to drift into the 9-day moving average. That's the most perfect setup I can picture for the short side. The longer we stay around 70, that means people are buying around 70. That means people expect the stock to go to 75. So that's worse for the shorts. So shorts are going to get scared. They're going to start closing their position for a loss or either for a profit, depending on where they're located in, where their average price is. And that's going to obviously start making the stock go higher and higher and higher. The more shorts close, the stock goes higher. So not the most ideal thing to see the longer we spend at $70, $71. Watching Ion Q and obviously RGTI looks like it's gonna burn some shorts here and really start getting ready for some sort of a parabolic squeezer move if we start going back up north. So watching this one for how it reacts. Ion Q, RGTI, and then QUBT are all always on the watch list too. Ion Q, basically $72 area is on watch for me on pops. OKLO, the stock that absolutely got destroyed, but sadly no opportunity for us to partake in unless you were looking to do so in pre-market. So stock got destroyed, kind of bottomed out, and then pushed back and then just traded sideways. I don't really see any day trading opportunity here, really. Potentially you could have gone long somewhere here, but if I was looking to short the stock as a day trade, I would have wanted to short it closer to here, or maybe a opening range 5-minute breakdown or something like that. I don't really see any real clean hindsight setup at the moment to talk about either. So OKLO just looks like a very dead stock today. But tomorrow could get interesting. You got a pretty wide range on the day on the stock. ATR is almost $10. Today is technically second red day after yesterday's first red day. So if we pull back into nice little reject right off of this day's midpoint. That's something that I always like to keep an eye out for. That day's midpoint happens to be around 122, and you can see how today's high right around 122, 122.50. Any resistance around today's high 122 to 122.50 potentially takes the stock back to the downside and eventually for a bigger mean reversion. I think the stock is, absolute BS. So looking for the shorts is absolutely the right idea on this name, as long as it doesn't start staying above 120. You can see how after hour they're actually trying to keep the stock above 120. That's the inflection area. I don't want to see the stock above 120 at all. Nice little even dollar price point, but today's high 122.80, sorry, it was 50, 122.50, 122.48, 122.50 is the final frontier resistance. I don't want to see it above that price point for the shorts. Above here, you could start looking long depending on how buyers are behaving on OKLO. Its partner in crime, NNE, potentially pulling back a little bit deeper. Yeah, so there's NNE over here, and SMR never really participated in this run up, so don't really care about what SMR is doing at all. However, LEU, another energy name, look how big of a bounce back LEU had, and looks like LEU wants to actually break out into a new all-time high here. That is the action, or not all-time high. Ooh, LEU, what the hell? This is pre-split prices, I guess. Anyways, LEU looking like it wants to absolutely go ballistic here above the 300, 315, or 318. That's the new high today. 318 area. So keeping an eye on this one. Potentially, some buying above 312.50 because that's the most recent high before today. Some buying above 312.50. That's going to be the check mark. If you start seeing buying above 312.50, you might get a move into 318 or even a move above 318. Today's candle is actually pretty big for a stock like LEU. That's insane. So keeping an eye on this one tomorrow for sure based off of today's action. I'm not even sure how this one came into my watch list and into my head all of a sudden. If I remember correctly, actually it was probably the what are they? The Revere Asset Management team. Connor Bates probably tweeted about this name today, and I remember him tweeting about it, and I remember that the stock is in the energy sector or the mineral sector. So this is not in the nuclear energy sector, is it? I'm not too sure exactly, but it says non-energy minerals. Either way, what a bounce off of the 9-day moving average over here for a $300 name. Potentially worth keeping an eye if there is volume tomorrow on LEU. Continuing down, Prad likes big candles. I like big maybe not everything. Well, I do like big old tiggle bitties. We'll stop the conversation there and we'll move on. My dog is going crazy at the moment. Where was I going to though? Oh, Costco. Right, Costco was supposed to have their conference call. Looks like, here we go, conference call, 27 new warehouses, 8% year over year, blah 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 blah. Is the stock actually selling off to the downside at below the 933 area? Looks like we're still holding above 933, a little bit back and forth, currently holding below the 9 EMA on the 5-minute, but still holding above the 933 on Costco. Potentially a short below 933 to 925 tomorrow intraday or tomorrow pre-market to keep an eye out for on Costco. Continuing down the watch list here though, I might actually have to defer to external tools here now to start looking for stocks that moved on the day before we go to our usual suspects. So let me actually use CNBC here. CNBC watch list 5 hours ago, 4 hours ago, pre-market movers, biggest movers midday. Let's actually refresh this page to see if any articles came out. Looks like they didn't. So here's the pre-market one. What stocks moved? Oracle already on the watch list. Intel apparently had a pretty strong bid on the day. I remember a couple of my co-workers talking about Intel. I also looked at Intel at one point. They did have a monster bid. Transocean stock up 15%. RIG. Ooh, I love tickers with tickers like that. RIG. Open Door. OPEN, potentially, actually worth keeping an eye on because of that undercut and rally. LAC popped another 21%. I told my pops to buy this name, and he didn't. He said, it already popped too much. How much more is it going to pop? And this is what he gets. This is what he gets. I mean, look, you could have gotten this name here and you would have been up 36% already. And that's what you get for not listening to me, Dad. LAC making that double day run up right now. Episodic pivot almost. Well, it's kind of a loosely held term now, but episodic pivot almost coming into play after that news that they might look into investing into this company. So LAC going nuts. We looked at job build, nothing interesting over there. SFIX apparently making a move to the downside. Stitch Fix dropping to the south side off of its earnings report. Potentially and everything trades there. 10 million shares on a $4 name. I don't give a shit about that. I'm not watching. Has Stitch Fix. QURE. Yes, this one was a good name. Went up another 9%, and I'm still long on this name. Let's see where it closed at. It closed at 52.80. Still long this name. Even though I didn't go long LAC. I did go long QURE, but I could have gone long LAC a lot harder. Anyways, I think I know why I didn't go long LAC, because it was just a news. It wasn't a guaranteed catalyst, whereas QURE was a guaranteed catalyst. They basically solved a very big disease. What was the disease again? Something with an H. I can't remember what the disease was. Oh, right here, Huntington's disease. There you go. Slowed down the disease, Huntington's disease, neurodegenerative disease. So very big news over there from QURE, and just more upside. Love watching it, and potentially, not potentially, obviously worth putting on the watch list for some day trades and some swing trades. CarMax, yes, you dropped pretty hard. We talked about you already. BlackBerry, we're gonna ignore. Now going to the midday watch list. Looks like Micron ripped to the upside, and if I remember correctly, Micron has actually been ripping to the upside recently. Worthington Steel, another stock that is an earnings basket. WS apparently making a move. What's going on with WS here, and what page was I just on? No, I was here. Worthington Steel apparently dropped 8% on earnings report. Let's go check out Worthington Steel. I remember looking at the stock, not enough volume. I don't care about this one. MP going up another 10%. That's basically LEU basket. And look at MP over here. Anytime any MP touches the 200-day moving average, it just, or not 200, the 9-day moving average, it just gets ready to blast off. God damn MP. MP looking fairly good at the moment, potentially worth putting on the watch list too, especially since we have LEU up there, Oracle's already up there, Transocean's already in there. We're gonna ignore everything else. Okay, that's good. And now we're gonna head to Twitter real quick and go check out if our boys at Centerpoint have posted anything on the watch list side. Centerpoint, what did you post about the hot movers of the day? Have not, you lazy bastards. They have not posted anything yet about the hot movers on the day. I guess we could ask, what is it? Our AI to help us out. To tell me, yo, what's moving, what's not moving. RCAT actually took a nosedive. I know UMAC took a nosedive because my personal account in UMAC went down a little bit, but that nosedive is not worried about it at all. Look at that, it actually bounced fairly well. Undercut and rally, maybe a reason for me to start adding more to my UNAC position. I've been seeing a lot about BULL on social media, like Twitter especially. So I'm gonna put BULL in the watch list. I did take a couple cuts on BULL already, but right here, getting back above the 50-day moving average, nice little 1470, 1480, $15 area, potentially a move to 18, and then maybe a bigger move above 18. Keeping an eye on BULL. So we'll talk about that one once we get closer to that stock. Trying to remember what other stocks are really worth talking about. Most of these stocks are, oh, ANET looks not bad actually. ANET, ALAB, how do you look at the moment? Ooh, ALAB getting beat. But the more ALAB pulls back, the more I like it, because this was a stock that got away from me. The one that got away, Reddit, from what I remember, has been pulling back recently too, but looks like it's finding some buying at the moment. Now I need to not forget about MicroStrategy, because that's the name that I was talking about earlier. MicroStrategy, Coinbase, IBIT, even Ethereum ETFs like ETHA and SOLT, I think is the Solana ETF. That one's also worth talking about. Last but not least, maybe, you know what, we will put UMAC on the watch list so I don't forget about it tomorrow. RR, how did you react today? No, RR getting beat up again. I don't want to see RR going down like that. Not the fun thing to see. Oh, and you know what? Maybe we'll just keep the watch list nice and short for tomorrow now. Well, not true at all because it's already long enough. But in terms of short, I mean, wrap it up with just look at the large caps: Tesla, Apple, Nvidia, which are my go-to ones, and then the other ones are Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So your mag 7 over there, and I think that's a pretty good watch list so far, ladies and gentlemen. Last TraderPrad bull, please. I was really strong on the red. Wow, look at that, Barkin. Before you even asked for it, I already was going to put bull on the watch list for myself. PCE tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Oh, sorry, PCE probably at 8:30 maybe. Not sure. Maybe we'll take a look at that one. Prad, I was looking at SFM. I've never even heard that name. What is that? Sprouts Farmers Market. Ooh, what a move to the downside. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, this one's getting destroyed. First Green Day might be something to keep an eye on. Never something that I traded, but something that I've always heard about. Something that SFM, something that I've heard people talk about. But look at that PE. I mean, very small PE. That's a pretty good PE. Possibly companies' internals changing pretty hard, fundamentals changing pretty hard to the point where they're getting beat down so much over here. Obviously, never a good thing when the stock is below the 200. You're just recently at the start of this month got the death cross, so you know that means more downside is very much possible on this name. I mean, look at the run up the stock has had from 2014 to where it is. So whatever is in the earnings reports or the news catalyst that's causing this, I'm not sure what it is, but eventually it's got to be a decent long to look for a long. But right now, this is not it. Be careful. I think you know, it's worth keeping it on the watch list or at least on the back burner. I'll throw SFM over here on the back burner, but I don't think there's anything to do with this tomorrow, to be honest. Continuing down the watch list, or continuing down the chat over here. Also, quickly want to go check out if anyone on the YouTube chat has, sorry, not YouTube, Twitch chat, X chat has said anything. If I'm missing out anyone over here, I'm not currently able to pop out the chat. It says like the stream not live when I pop out the chat. Like, come on, Elon. Come on, Nikita. Fix your garbage platform. So I can't really open that, sadly. So if you are watching me on X, I would urge you to message on YouTube because it's the most accessible place that I can read messages on. Okay. Quickly give this a refresh to see if they posted or if they're still being lazy bones. You lazy bones. All right. So it looks like we have a pretty good watch list for tomorrow. Let's quickly walk through some of the stocks that we haven't talked about yet, such as Intel. Intel making a pretty good run up. Oh my God, what is that run up on Intel? I did not expect that run up, I'll be honest, but now that's what you call a nice little gap close and then a pullback. Not even a gap close realistically, but wow, what a good support coming into the 90 MA catches up into this low and then just rips to the north side. And you're watching another stock that the government basically said they're going to invest in. That's LEC. LAC is also going nuts. So yeah, watch Intel for sure. I would have never doubted, never guessed that something like this would have happened on Intel. But you know, now it's time to start thinking about putting some money into Intel. Maybe you could have said it's already too late, Prad. But you know, Intel is going to be great again. Is that what people are saying? Looks like the Apple begging that they did yesterday also helped them out. Not that any deal actually played out, But you know, the market clearly loving everything they're seeing from Intel over here. At the moment, these moves are too big for Intel, in my opinion. So potentially some pullback. This is also, you know, usually what you see when investors want to buy as many shares as they can. They don't care about where the price is. They're just slapping big orders and big buys right off the open, right off the close, and that's what's giving you these big moves off the open, and then they're potentially buying off of VWAP or something, right? So these type of moves don't happen randomly. These are big players coming into play, and they're saying, yeah, we wanna invest in Intel now. We want to hold a piece of the pie. Previously we didn't care about it, but now we want to buy these prices again. So if it's these prices, if these are good to them, they're expecting the stock to potentially go to 50, 60, 70, right? And that's not when the markets are topping out. That's when the markets are going higher. You wouldn't buy Intel in these prices and expect it to go to 50 if the market was topping out, right? So just clear idea as to what kind of money and how smart money, quote unquote smart money, is behaving right now. Looking for Intel as a day trade, I think the most simple setup that I can think of right now is today's VWAP. Either it pulls back to today's VWAP, which would be a little bit of a deeper pullback, honestly. The biggest pullback that I would want to see would be a 3350. But if it wants to pull back to today's VWAP, I would understand that. I'm not gonna hate on that opportunity to get long into 32. But if I was long already from today, I ideally don't want to see the stock even pull back to 32. I want to see it pull back to maybe 3250, buying above 3250, and then continue its rally higher. And then the VWAP is actually getting drawn up from 32 to 3250 or even higher. So 33 to 3350. So you want to see the VWAP even pull back even higher. So that would be the idea over here for the stock. So don't want to see the stock below that price point at all. The next name apparently making a little bit of a move down today, Rig Transocean. Come on, this name doesn't even matter to me anymore. We're gonna delete that one. When I saw the percentage, I got a little too excited, but that name doesn't matter. Open Door, I mean, pretty insane rally, almost like a undercut and rally. I guess pretty much an undercut and rally. At this point, you want to see if buyers are coming in above $9. For the day trade, I think it's not really. Honestly, the stock might be more important for the day trade than the swing trade at the moment. If it is holding above 9 and above 925, which is today's high, if it's holding above that, you could potentially get some move back into the north side. But what I'm expecting is just more sideways action. That would make the stock not exciting for the day trade, and then not exciting for the swing trade. Maybe the opposite. Then it would make it more exciting for the swing trade, because the longer it's trading sideways, the more opportunities you're going to get to buy and then risk very tightly on Open Door. So a little vice versa over there, keeping an eye on how the stock is playing out. LAC going nuts along with Intel. Back-to-back days, up days over here. I don't expect the second big update. So tomorrow, some stalling into today's high potentially would be a spot to look for a short. If you zoom out on the daily chart, sorry, on the weekly chart, there's also some levels right here into $8 that stand out. You also have the 200 weekly moving average, not the daily, the 200 weekly moving average at $9. So multiple levels and reasons as to why I don't think the stock should really trade higher than that going into a Friday tomorrow. If we start trading higher than $8 tomorrow, I'll eat my socks. Maybe not, but like you know, that's ridiculous. That's an insane amount of climb, and then the stock potentially going, you know, nuts after that. So there's a lots of scenarios where the stock goes ballistic above 8. For the most part, I'm expecting some sort of a short opportunity near $7, $8 to look for as a first red day setup tomorrow. Some sort of a mean reversion tomorrow. So right now the high of day today 750. The line that we just drew is at I'm gonna put in all of these levels. So the line we just drew, today's high 750. The line we just drew was a 780-ish or so, and then the nice even dollar is at $8. So I'm watching that whole little 50-cent pocket on LAC to the upside to see how the stock behaves. QURE, similar moves but different story. I think tomorrow, however, the stock is not really going to continue its ascent the same way. I could be wrong, who the hell knows. I hope I'm wrong though, because that means I'm making more money on this name. Very good news at the moment. There is another CLTF or something. I think it's CLTF. No, I can't remember. CTLF, maybe not. I can't remember what the ticker is. But QURE extended for sure. You know, there's no other way to put it. Extended for sure. I don't think there's really a day three trade here anyways. It's more so for a swing, so I'm just watching it as a swing name more so. So I'm gonna give that a blue color. I think from now on I'm gonna give blue colors my my swing priorities, but then sometimes my orange are also swing priorities. We'll give it orange because it's not really a blue. It's not the lowest priority, but it's the lowest priority for the day trade side at the very least. Oh no, it could go a higher priority too. My mind's having a battle as to what I want to do with the that name, Micron, but I want to also have Marvell in my watch list. So let's actually give me a second. Let's bring this down to the tech side, and then let's add Marvell, which had a pretty good move up today and looks like it wants to break out indeed. MRVL. Okay, so let's go back up to MP. MP looks like it wants to basically break out at 8250 over here. Dip buy into 71 would be amazing. This is a stock that has a pretty high average daily range now. It could whip around pretty drastically. The closer you're buying to the 50-day moving average, the better it is. But you know, you had your chance today when it dipped, and if you didn't buy, then boohoo, sad story, right? So ripped right back up to the north side, rejected, actually double topped cleanly off 8250. I don't think you'll see 8250 coming into play tomorrow, but if you do see 8250 and then a break above 8250, that's going to be an opportunity over there. If it doesn't find buying above 8250, but it plays around 8250, you might even be able to get a quick little scalp from 8250 to the downside, potentially to the intraday VWAP. But what matters the most at that point is, where is the intraday VWAP? Is the intraday VWAP trading higher than yesterday's VWAP, or is it trading lower than yesterday's VWAP? So what I mean by that is, if tomorrow's VWAP is higher than today's VWAP, the chances are we're actually going to break out at 8250. But if today's VWAP is actually going to trade around tomorrow's or yesterday's VWAP, if tomorrow's VWAP is going to trade around today's VWAP, then the stock is most likely trading sideways. And if tomorrow's VWAP is trading below today's VWAP, then the most likely the stock is trading lower. So just kind of picturing you know, these simple mechanics from the stock market. Where is today's VWAP in relation to today's VWAP? Tomorrow's VWAP in relation to today's VWAP. And if you can just kind of picture that, then you can clearly start visualizing what the stock is actually doing. It's going to start trading in the higher realm. It's going to start trading in the lower realm of yesterday's candle, especially given how big yesterday's candle is. And if it's trading in the higher realm of the candle, then there's chances that you can get long into yesterday's VWAP for a move into the 8250 high. And then the other way around, you can trade around 8250 high short and then cover into VWAP. So those pictures, just visualize scenarios, if then scenarios. That's really all the market is just picturing and visualizing all of these if then scenarios. I was just not too long ago talking about Webull already, so there's really not much to talk about. But if you zoom out over here on Webull, let me quickly zoom out over here. There's a couple levels to keep an eye out for. Right there. Let's go to the weekly chart also. That. So now go back to the daily chart. So right around $15. I like, you could say $14.80, $15. Once Webull gets above that, I really think there's a lot of room to the north side over here on Webull. So I'm very excited to see what happens over here. I want to be participating on that. So I'll probably go long above 15 on Webull. Brad, do you know what a pinch play is and how a pinch play works? Well, in terms of the anchor VWAP pinch play, I know what it means, but in terms of different pinch play, I'm not sure if it's the same thing or a different thing, but I know what a pinch play is for the anchored VWAP pinch play, according to your boy Alpha Trends, Brian Shannon. Alpha Trends, awesome dude, great content, free learning just by following his Twitter. If you follow his Twitter, there's so much knowledge that you can soak up by following that dude. Quickly, let's talk about ANET, one of the most recent runner-ups of the AI world, of the technology world, making a new all-time high. And the fact that it's so close to its 200-day moving average, its 50-day moving average, I mean, this stock is far from being overextended. And if the market starts ripping to the north side again, this is a name that could go really to the upside. Sadly, however, if I remember correctly, ANET does have a pretty high PE ratio. I mean, it's not that high, but it is in the red. Anytime in the red, that's not good. It's a decently high PE ratio. So PE ratios in the 50s, but it's not like Carvanas or Palantirs, which we've seen in the 400s, 4000s, 40,000s. So ANET, just looking at the daily chart here, a nice little undercut and rally back above the 21-day moving average, potentially getting ready to reclaim the 9-day moving average. And also you can see how the stock is basically battling right around the recent earnings pop-up all-time high area. It's just kind of battling around the zone with buyers buying every single dip they can. So I think buying ANET for the swing account over here somewhere around 140 is a great opportunity for us if you're looking to get long. 140 as long as we're buying above 140 or trading around 140, I'm okay with it. Your stop is ideally below the lows over here, but then you could also if you want to open up your luck a little bit more, see if you can get lucky by giving yourself a little bit more risk, then you can potentially put the stop a little bit under 50-day moving average, or if the stock closes under the 50-day moving average. So ANET stands out for me. I really like that one for the swing trade. MicroStrategy. So you could basically look at today as a day one short setup today. Continuation tomorrow by continuing to be weak under the psychological level, the psychological price point 300. But then today's VWAP is basically the key level for me, right? If the stock is below today's VWAP, I'm going to continue looking for the short, but I'm not going to battle the short as much if the stock is not getting below 300. If 300 is continuing to show buying and buyers are showing up around 300, I want to stay away from battling the short because I might get a bigger pop to short into. But if 300 is looking weak, then that's when I will turn the trade to an even bigger trade, from starting the short around 303 all the way into 300, adding on the breakdown below 300, looking for a test of today's low, and then looking for a continuation past today's low. So looking for all those type of trade opportunities over there. My key inflection level 300, that's today's VWAP. Key inflection level is 300, that's the even dollar level, but today's resistance technically 303 to 305. I'm just gonna give it a $2 wiggle room to the even dollar level higher. I don't want to see the stock above 305 at the final dollar for the short side. If it's above 303, 305, I'm done with trying to short that name tomorrow. I might even take a couple losses because I was probably short around 300. Coinbase pushing back down. If it breaks tomorrow's low, again, same scenario, $300 area. I think it will very easily push into 290 if Coinbase is not holding 300 tomorrow, at which point 290 breakdown next week, or even 290 breakdown tomorrow, could open up more downside on Coinbase depending on how Bitcoin is behaving. So make sure you're watching Coinbase. In fact, Coinbase might even take higher priority than MicroStrategy based on the $300 game plan right now, because MicroStrategy already broke down. You're looking for a day 2 play. Coinbase technically broke down too, and you're also looking for a day 2 play. But if Coinbase stays weak below 300, it has a date with 290. So I'm almost looking for that play a lot more than MicroStrategy at the moment, now that I've spotted it out. IBIT and ETHA and SOLT are all ETFs that trade their direct relations. So if you want to expose yourself to trade Bitcoin short sell opportunity, if Bitcoin is looking weak under its recent supports, basically the same levels, if Bitcoin is looking weak, you'll most likely find a trade around the $61.30, $61 area on IBIT. Keep an eye on that. ETHA ETF is breaking back down, and then SOLT, another ETF, that's a Solana ETF for you interested. It's actually a 2 times leveraged Solana ETF for you leverage crackheads, aka my good friend Wayne Wang, who's actually not even my good friend anymore, because he doesn't even support me watching my own YouTube streams. I have sadly, I don't want to say randoms, because I know most of you by now for so long, you've been watching me for years, but people who don't even know me in real life watch me, whereas people who know me in real life rather play, they rather play video games right now than watch their boy and support me and give them a like and give them a view count. Your own friends, chat, they backstab you the most, just so you know. Your own friends backstab you the most. UMAC, nice bounce off of the $12 area. I love to see that, basically holding the midpoint candle that I keep talking about. That midpoint area holding is always a good thing for me. Undercutting and then rallying back above the 9-day moving average, eventually breaking back above the $15 area would look beautiful. Nothing to do at the moment for the swing or the day trade. For the swing, actually, I might even buy some more shares after that reaction, but if it starts to nosedive again, that would basically ruin the trade for me. So just keeping an eye on UMAC for the swing side, management side. MRVL, absolute heater at the moment. Look at the stock breaking out and then just running to the north side. Previous resistance areas, 200-day moving average. At this point, I mean, if this stock is above 84, 85 tomorrow, it is going again. It is having an insane day 3. You could even maybe reset the counter to day 1 today. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the micro or not micro strategy. Marvell Technology, another semiconductor name, getting ready to break out over here back above the 200-day moving average, while people think that the market is basically topping out and getting ready to sell off, and a big doomsday market is about to happen. Even the garbage semiconductor names are getting bought up, guys. Like, what are we talking about here? Okay, semiconductor ETFs is at all-time highs. I don't want to talk about bearish markets. Okay, markets are going nuts at the moment. And Marvell over here, look at this stock going higher, potentially a breakout above the 83, 85 zone tomorrow. If you start seeing buying in the 83 to 85 pocket, I think that's your trigger to start buying around 83, and then once we break above 85, you add to your position above 85 for the run up. But if we're struggling around 83, we're not even buying above 83, that's not the signal to go long just yet. That could be a signal to maybe short 83 for it move into $80 or a bigger move back down 80, but that's not a signal to go long. So 83 to 85 is the key zone that I want to see buyers piling into, so we can then start taking the stock higher tomorrow or even next week, whenever it happens. But I want to keep an eye out for that. Micron, a little bit of a retracement. You know, it has had a lot of run up recently, a monster run up recently. So now taking a little bit of a breather over here. You could say that there is a short under 155. If you're interested, there is a short under 155. But like I said, semiconductors are so strong at the moment. I think this is just going to go sideways and not really give you the trade that I'm looking for. But if it's weak under 155, that's your trigger. You don't want to see the stock holding above 155 if you're looking for a short. If you're looking for a long, holding 155, that's your game plan right there. Look for a long. Tesla sadly pulling back here again one more time today after looking strong yesterday. Still above the 9-day moving average though. That's a good thing. If you're looking for a swing trade, buying Tesla at the 9-day with the stop right below the 9-day is never a bad idea, especially after the most recent run-up it's had. So let's keep an eye to see that run-up is going to continue or not. More importantly though, for the swing and for the day trade, I'm keeping an eye on Apple because it's flagging so closely to the all-time high. So 257.34 is the flag high. All-time high is 260. So this flag is very important at the moment because not long ago we actually broke out of Apple's pockets themselves. So the zones, the resistance that Apple's been struggling into, we finally got above that. I should put 257. That resistance. Sometimes I flip-flop with the way I use the word inflection. I should maybe even just remove the word inflection completely. Anyways, as long as I understand my notes, that's all that matters. If you guys don't understand my notes, just let me know and I will gladly kick you from the stream so I don't have to explain myself. I'm joking. I'll explain myself. Just let me know if you don't understand what I'm talking about. Apple 257.35. Let's see if we can break out above that, get a clean $3 move into all-time high, and then a bigger move above all-time high, especially if the market is bouncing tomorrow. Remember, I said I'm expecting the market green tomorrow. If the market is bouncing tomorrow, this might be the #1 priority to keep an eye out for. So Apple really stands out to me. Look at Nvidia over there. Nice little nothing burger day on Nvidia, but good to see it not crumble. Amazon still pulling back to the 200-day moving average, potentially some buying opportunity there tomorrow if we land at the 200-day. Google now pulling back to an anchored VWAP that I can't even remember why I put in, to be honest. I can't remember why I put that anchored VWAP in. Was that the day they announced the Apple partnership or some bullshit like that? Anyways, ever since then, they never really tested that VWAP. Now they're pulling back to that VWAP. It also happens to be the 21-day moving average. I'm going to go ahead and delete that because I don't know what that is. And now they're pulling back to the 21-day moving average. No day trade, no swing trade just yet over there for me. I'm going to leave that alone. Microsoft, Meta, and what's the last one? SFM. Nothing really over here to talk about either. SFM though could give you a long near 110, 100. I mean these 5 every even dollar level, but every 5 even dollar levels. So 105, 110. I'm gonna watch 110. I'm gonna watch 105. I'm gonna watch 100 to see if it gives you some sort of a dip buy opportunity tomorrow for the long on SFM. I'm gonna color that actually purple. 110, 105, 100. If they give me an opportunity, gimme. Watch for the 200 DMA. Okay, that, ladies and gentlemen, is an extensive watch list, and I am pretty tired from talking. My throat is pretty dry. I'm hungry also. I usually don't eat anything throughout the day. I don't know why. I'm crazy. So I'm gonna go get some food in me. I'm starving. Also, my niece has a little hairline fracture, so pray for her. It's not really like a big bone fracture, but a little hairline fracture. Pray for her to get better. Pray for her to get stronger and recover quickly. Few things left over here on the stream. Let's quickly wrap it up by showing you guys what's left. Not the earnings board, but I want to show you the econ calendar. So that's over here. The economic calendar for tomorrow. I think someone already mentioned that we had the PCE. I think it was Barkit. Barkit said PCE tomorrow. That's at 8:30. That's obviously an important number. If that comes out scary for the market, you can potentially forget the... Oh, actually, that could kickstart what I said at the start of the show. At the start of the show, I said... you know, the market actually sells off drastically to the downside. capitulates and then bottoms and then rips to the north side. The PCE could be something that kickstarts that event. 8:30, we crumble, we go downside all the way to the open. After the open, we bottom out, and then we start climbing back to the north side, and then just the insane long opportunity after there on. I can imagine that happening. I'm not saying that's something that I'm going to force from the market and I'm going to keep trading that until it happens. It's something I imagine. It's one of the scenarios that I could see happening, and if it does, guess what? Because I already pictured it, I already visualized it, I know how to trade it, I know how to take advantage of it, and I'll be there to participate in it. So that's basically all you have to do. When I say doing the homework, it's sitting over here, going through tons of charts, analyzing tons of charts, going through tons of setups that you probably trade yourself. Hopefully you trade these setups yourself, and then analyzing why that setup worked, why that setup didn't work, how can I take advantage of it, and then how can I make money off of it. If I lost on it, why did I lose on it? How can I not lose on it next time? So just doing these little analysis, these studies will give you a big library of charts in your own head. Also create your own library of charts. Like I have a vast library of charts over here. If I was to go show you, I've been a little lazy, but once I get back into day trading fully, you're gonna see me doing a lot more of these. And there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these charts over here that I can pull up from any given day in the past. Obviously not in the current time, but any given day in the past, and you can see how I would have studied how I studied that chart and so on. So this is kind of the work you have to put in, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's you quit your 9 to 5 so you can work for 20 hours a day in the trading world, just the way it works out. Continuing the econ calendar over here, the core PCE is realistically the only 3-star event tomorrow. After that, you do have the Michigan sentiment numbers at 10 o'clock, and then the Fed member at 1 o'clock, which could move the market. So make sure that you're alert at those times. But 8:30, obviously, the key time period for tomorrow. Please alert Dieter. What am I alerting Dieter about? He's probably at work. By the way, William Shatner rushed to the hospital this morning. Prayers for him too. Ooh, yes, please, prayers for William Shatner. That's Captain Kirk, if I remember correctly. Please alert Dieter. Why is Dieter a William Shatner fan? Is that why? But I will alert Dieter about that. Anyways, that's the econ calendar. IPO calendar for tomorrow, I think, is still a nothing burger. Acquisition company, who cares? Another acquisition company, who cares? Yes, no IPO calendar to talk about. And let me just quickly see if there's one more thing to talk about. Yes, there is one more thing to talk about. The last final thing. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. We're dying to grow this channel. In fact, I might even do a little test where I open a new YouTube channel and try to grow that and just let this channel die, because I'm almost convinced that this YouTube channel is shadow banned. Shadow banned because of a couple of like YouTube strikes, copyright strikes, and also shadow banned because of when I first went live after Trader TV Live, right? After Trader TV Live, when I first went live on YouTube, I had like 1,000 viewers stream. And then ever since then, the stream count just went lower, died. It just went to the ground. And that affects YouTube's algorithm too. Ever since then, YouTube just hasn't pushed my videos, my streams. In fact, to the point where TH has complained that it doesn't even alert him when I go live anymore. So I'm convinced that this account is just shadow banned. And if I really want to give this a real attempt, I'm gonna have to possibly try doing it on a legitimate account and a new account, growing it from the ground up, and seeing if that behaves well with the same content. If that behaves well with the same content, then clearly this account is just shadow banned. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. But that's something that I'll have to battle. If you guys do hear me about going to a new account or streaming on a new account. Please stay tuned for that. Make sure you're following me on all the social media, and the only way you'll know is by actually going to my Linktree page or following me on Twitter. I'll post on Twitter my new YouTube handle if I'm streaming on a new channel. I'll still be streaming on the same other accounts, so you make sure you go follow on the other accounts too. That way you don't miss out if I do create a new YouTube account. Continuing past that, you also have my affiliate sponsors, the software that I actually use to trade with. So if you want to use any of those softwares, you can get a discount code by clicking on any of these links over here. Flash Research, Benzinga, TraderSync, Finviz, Traders Insight, awesome tools, all of them. And last but not least, the Swing Trader, real simple aerial. Join me and like 200 to 400 other traders who have actually made a lot of money thanks to real simple aerial. If you want to join us, click on that link over there. The pump fund coin is over here, and the charts catalog over here. Start a new channel, TraderPrad 2.0, says Josh. Not a bad idea, Josh, not a bad idea. But I'm actually looking for you know, even maybe a partner to stream with, maybe like a business to start where we do like a co-stream thing, potentially like a co-stream after hours for the earnings reports or something like that. I don't know, something to think about in the future. For that, I'll have to first find an awesome day trader and a streamer like me, which will be a mission in itself. Anyway, that's a problem for me. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, Friday. Let's see if we get the free fall Friday. 3 red days in a row. Room's red as hell, right? 3 straight red days in a row. Maybe we get a Alexa set lights to green. Maybe we get a green day tomorrow on the market. Alexa does not want to give lights to green. Did. Okay, there you go. Maybe we do get a green day on the market tomorrow and a bounce in all the portfolios. At the end of the day, market's risky, trading's risky. Please apply risk management. You know, stick to your rules, stick to your game plan. There's no reason to ever deviate from it. You're an idiot to ever deviate from your risk management. Stick to your game plan. Go make that money. I'll catch you guys Monday, same time, same place. Peace. Go louder.